Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be taking a first look at Mythic Michonne 2000, who is the final Skybound X character coming to RTS. Out of the released characters, she is the fourth, and there is also Andrea 2000 to come, who was a teased character already. Visually on the right hand side, this is not how we remember Michonne. Even Michonne 2000 on the roadmaps was looking just kind of normal, kind of like well, actually, I say Laurie looked normal. She doesn't anymore. What's happening to these characters as we see that Michonne is a floating head with a completely like bionic body? It is so weird with her head floating and no neck. That is so off-putting. When I first saw it, I was like, wait, she hasn't got a neck. Really strange. And yeah, visually nuts, honestly. Kind of just basically a robot. On the left hand side, you can see her arms split in half to turn into four arms. You know, it's not four arms on the right hand side, it's just the two. But on the left hand side, you can split it into four arms. I guess that's part of the comic storyline. It's just crazy. We'll check out the stats as a grade 5 limit broken character, level 640. She has a whopping 17,116 attack, 14,483 defense, and 12,288 HP. Remember, this is the base stats, just level 640, no lieutenants, so your lieutenants would go on top of this, which is generally going to be a good 8 to 12k extra stats in each of these. She is a strong character, considered a damage dealer, mythic character of course, and like I said already, she is a Skybound X allegiance character, and she will be required if you do want to get your hands on Rick 2000, who is the Skybound X Mythic Trial reward. Now first off, we'll check out Michonne 2000's Adrenaline Rush, and it is called Berserker Slashes. It has got 66 AP cost rush, deal 4 attacks of 200% damage, 800% total to one enemy. Pretty basic, quite a lot like a character we've got in the game already, Princess, but it's going to be a different trait. And I think it makes sense, you know, I think it makes sense. She's got effectively up to 4 arms, she does 4 attacks. It is going to be 200% times 4, so obviously she could potentially just go around one-shotting characters. Lots of damage output potential just on those basic attacks. It works on a basic attack, that means it can crit, and that means if you have like crit multiplier in there, and if there are other parts of her kit which give her extra crit bonuses, like in her passives and stuff, that's going to amplify it. She will have agility because she is a damage dealer, so that's going to amplify the actual attacks of those individual hits as well. So big boost all round. Okay, so we are on turn 2, and we have got an adrenaline rush here on Michonne, as you can see, and we are just going to rush it out. We are going to select a character. We're going to select this character. Got defense down. We should be able to one-shot them. Now remember, we can crit these individual hits. I'm not going to speed it up. I'm just going to hit the rush. The individual hits will come in. Can hit a big crit, pretty decent crit, and absolute defended. She has got an absolute defense pistol, and that can happen. Disarm's going to be very important, but I have got a stun on attack weapon on her, and just to show you with the tests on this part of her kit, and you can see that she is going to stun. Any weapon that she has on her will be able to happen on this rush on all 4 of those attacks. And let's just say, guys, she is going to have a weapon on base, which is going to be very useful with that rush. We'll look at the upgrades here, and you can see it's pretty simple. You get her to grade 5, which is 2 gold mythics. You get another 100% damage per attack, so it goes from 100% and 400% total to 200% and 800% total. You will need to get 2 of her, 2 gold mythics, to get her to grade 5, and that means, generally speaking, her signature move should have the limit break boost. We'll have to see what that has to offer, but that is the rush, and it is very straightforward, very simple, but very effective, as you could see. If you get her correctly, with the right combat mods, the right teammates, remember she is a strong character, so she can take advantage of strong attacks, and that's going to amplify all of her damage, which is going to be pretty nice. Now, talking of that signature move, it is called Killer Blow. It has got an initial cooldown of turn 2, cooldown of 2 turns, number of uses unlimited. Make a critical attack for 200% against an enemy. One other enemy gets stunned for 1 turn. Obviously, the speed of this is perfect. It's going to make sure she's always getting enough AP to do that rush. Well, she will need like that 1 AP every time, but a lot of the time she's going to be hit. You saw it on that first little test I did. She's got a lot of attacks. She will be focused a little bit, so that is something you need to keep that in mind. The number of uses being unlimited is kind of normal at the moment, and with this sort of rush, I don't think it's too terrible with it being unlimited. A critical hit, a guaranteed critical hit, will obviously be able to take advantage of certain weapons and certain specialist skills, as you probably already noticed, and also the fact that this is a guaranteed crit, that 200% is going to be massively amplified. You could easily one-shot a character, just finish them off on turn 2. You're stunning another character, which I like, because if you're finishing someone off, you don't want to stun that character. And that means the enemy on their turn 2 on a defense team will potentially only have 3 characters doing something. That is actually pretty decent. There's not a lot of stun resist going around at the moment. Some people still do use it, but I mean, a lot of people are using bleed resist at the moment. So yeah, very effective potentially as a signature move, and it's one of the heavier hitting ones out there right now. Okay, so we are here on turn 2, and this is obviously the signature move turn. And we are going to select the character who's got defense down. Makes sense, right? We can potentially hit her pretty hard. And we'll get in that signature move. 200% hits for so hard. It's one of those 4 hits on her rush is basically what she's doing on her signature move. The only thing about it is it's a guarantee of what she would bring to the table as a maximum, where it's a guaranteed crit. Obviously, it's a guaranteed chance at a crit, I should probably say. Now, check out the upgrades for this signature move, and you can see, compared to the rush, this gets a lot of boosts over the upgrades. You can see at grade 2, the starting cooldown goes -1, so it goes from initial cooldown of turn 3 to initial cooldown of turn 2. You only require silvers to do this, not too much of a problem. Same with grade 3, it goes from 3 turns to 2 turns. Grade 4, you get stun one of the enemy for 1 turn, which is the second half of that. Again, only requires silver so far. However, the limit break would require 3 golds, and that's going to be quite hard to come by. But if you do get it, it goes from 150% to 200%, which is, like I said, one of those hits on that rush. So it is very nice. You can do massive amounts of damage on this. Guaranteed crit can be really nice in terms of proccing other parts of her kit, which is great. And there are big bonuses to getting those done, and there probably could potentially be more with her passives, which we'll check out in a second. But I like this signature move a lot. It reminds me of like Cal, it reminds me of Mirabelle. The only difference is Michonne's going to have so much higher attack stat than those characters, so she's probably going to hit for like 50 to 60% more at least. And then of course, don't forget to bring in other things. Like I said before, I think the strong attacks potential on this character, if you've got a heavy strong team, is going to be immense. Now, we're talking of the passives, and here they are. She hasn't got a huge amount of them, but they are very, very effective. You can see she's got agility, which would be agility 1 and 2, which is a 20% increase to basic attack damage. That would obviously increase her rush damage. That would also increase her signature move damage. Empowered blades, crit damage multiplier. This is the same as a couple of characters I've got, and it works very, very well. Characters like Sandy have got a crit damage multiplier, and again, it will work with her rush, it will work with her signature move. Sharpen, which is just a boost to that crit, which is actually kind of nice if you don't want to mod her with crit and just rely on 1535s around her. You could just get 40 crit from her passives here, and you don't give her a crit mod, and then you can sort of build her a little bit more tanky if you want to, if you want to keep her alive a bit more. Or you could build it so that she does damage versus multiple traits. You could do like attack versus strong, attack versus tough, and then she's got a default of attack versus fast, and she's gonna, no matter who she hits, she's gonna amplify her damage by like 40 to 50% there. Again, could be very effective. And then in the last slot, you can see she's got Bionic Rage. When attacking while having a Guardian Shield, plus 40% attack. Again, potential for her damage output is nuts. This all stacks. It's, everything stacks here. Agility, Bionic Rage, weapon, leader skill, strong attacks, weapon, like all of that is going to stack. And she has, of course, got a part of her kit, which you can see, where she's going to get Guardian Shields. And because she's got the low HP, she's going to be prioritized with any Guardian Shields that proc on a team. So if you use her and another Guardian, for instance, or just her, or there are some characters that just randomly can do Guardian Shields every now and again, she's got the priority, generally speaking, of getting that Guardian Shield, unless someone else has been massively focused otherwise. Okay, so we're on turn 2, and as you can see, she has got her rush, because, I'm just using Glenn for the AP game, but she has got Guardian Shield on her. She should get some extra boosts because of this. Now she has got the trauma axe, so just keep that in mind when I do the attacks here. That's the weapon I'm using on her for these tests. And if I just select a character, watch the green text that comes up above her name, or above her picture, avatar in the bottom left-hand corner. It should be like the 20% boost from agility, but you should also see a 40% boost potentially there as well from having a guardian shield. So the first attack will come in, and we'll see stunned, 20%, 40%. So it's huge amounts of potential attack bonuses because of that guardian shield. 20%, 40%. Really high potential there. Lots of green text. This is trying to catch up right now because there were so many. Really nice potential, and obviously, like I said, if imagine my entire team was green, and I had a character with a strong attacks weapon, she's getting a 50% buff, like a speech bubble buff, like that healing stun, effectively that's stacked up now. She'd be just absolutely ripping defenses to pieces, and this is without like defense down. This is just pure attack. Defense down on top could be pretty crazy, honestly. Now, of course, the passives will have some upgrades, and a couple of them do get split into two. So while it may not look like she's got many, she obviously has quite powerful ones that are just going to amplify all her damage. The Empowered Blades, which is the crit multiplier, you're going to be able to get 20% crit damage multiplier at grade 1. At grade 2, you get Agility 1, which is the 10% extra damage for basic attacks. At grade 3, you're going to get Sharpen, and that's going to be 40 extra crit. At grade 4, you're going to get the first half of Bionic Rage, which is when attacking while having a Guardian Shield, you get 20% attack. And then you get the second half of that, so the second 20% at grade 5. And then again, at Limit Break, you get Agility 2, which is another 10% damage. And like I said, it's going to work with her Rush, a signature move. It's going to work with basic attacks. Everything is going to get amplified by all this. And it's all damage dealing. It's all about damage. It's all very much... I don't know, she's kind of just all about herself when it comes to doing damage, but you know, her enemies are going to hate it. Her enemies are going to hate it for sure. She's not doing anything for her teammates except potentially one thing, which we're going to check out in a second, but all of it's just going to amplify her damage. Now, the one thing that she does bring to the table, which is a bit more team-based, so she's not all about Michonne, is that she's got Guardian 2. Now, this will obviously help Michonne herself because she gets 2 Guardian Shields. She has got the lowest HP. A lot of the time she will have the lowest HP and she'll give it to herself and then buff herself with the passive. Kind of cool. But she'll also give it to a teammate as well. It is worth noting that with her Rush, while she can crit 4 times, the maximum amount of times that Guardian 2 can proc in a turn and actually give 2 Guardian Shields is once. If you have 4 Guardian Shields on your team, like 4 Guardian 2s, or like the Cal Mirabelle and now Michonne 2000, if one of them crits, it doesn't matter if the other 2 crit. You cannot get any more Guardian Shields. So you're not going to get like the entire team Guardian Shield with her Rush, but 2 is still really powerful and they stack up really quick, especially on an attack team, because a lot of the time the defense, what they do is they focus one character and then the other Guardian Shields just stay up, and then another attack comes in and then suddenly there's 3 Guardian Shields on the attack and it's looking pretty good, and they block main damage. You know, if you take out a Governor and he rushes, Guardian Shields 100% block that. So very nice specialist skill. I think one of the nicer ones for an attack team especially. Very annoying on defense teams, although like I said, I don't think Michonne's really going to be able to get away with being on a defense team in my opinion. Now, I'm not going to show you any footage of Guardian 2. You guys know how it works. As long as you hit the crit, you're going to hit a Guardian 2. Okay, so far so good. Michonne's doing a lot of damage. Going to amplify it all with her passive. She's got a little bit of a bonus for her teammates with Guardian. But this is where it gets kind of crazy. She has got an attached weapon, which I have been keeping a big secret up until this point. And her attached weapon is a 5-star weapon off base. So I haven't had to upgrade it myself. It was already a 5-star weapon. And it is very special. It is Michonne's 2000 Violent Robot Swords. 35% attack. A medium bonus to AP when attacking. Teammate reviving when taking out an enemy, a better chance to revive their teammate with 75% HP and 100% defense for 2 turns, and Rampage on the 4 slot. Basic attack critical hits will hit 2 additional enemies on the same side of the battlefield for 150% of the damage of a basic attack. This is an off trait, and not just any off trait, guys. You know what Rampage is about, but this is an off trait 4 slot special, and it isn't just it's the special. It's the one that is generally prioritized by a lot of people, or like recommended by a lot of people, to amplify that attack character off the first real big upgrade weapon. and you get off base. You're getting the big one off base. All you have to do on this weapon is like a huge bonus, 45% attack. I would even keep the revive. There is not too much you can do when it comes to the armory to amplify attack there, but she could potentially take down multiple characters. She's got a decent chance of taking down multiple characters and reviving anyone who does get taken out. And it is a good revive as well, 75% HP. But the rampage is going to be crazy. Let's just check out how this is going to work. Okay, so here we are on turn 2. Kind of natural situation you're going to be in. 31 AP with an 8% weapon. It's only with the medium on the upgrade, so you don't potentially need to go for huge if you can work out the AP bonuses. If you've got a command, even better, which is definitely something that's going to be coming in the future. We'll select a character that we're going to hit this signature move on. We'll hit the crit, which is obviously going to do that rampage. And it's not over yet because we can command her with Rick 2000. Like I said, I think the combo here is going to be nuts. And then we can just remember the damage we were doing before with it, right? You remember the damage we were doing before with it. Well, now we're hitting rampages. And that was just 3 of the hits in comparison to the 4 we did before. And guys, that was without strong attacks weapon, 30 to 40 to 50% bonus. I originally did record a clip with the strong attacks weapon, but she was destroying 3 people with just her signature move. For a comparison, it was just really, it was kind of just, I couldn't show you the full test. Everything's going to get amplified here. Rampage on a strong character is kind of amazing from my perspective. I love strong characters, and I've always said there isn't too much on weapon upgrades in the armory that can be used on a strong character to amplify their damage. Well, Rampage is definitely it. Rampage is definitely it. It's going to work with each of those hits on her rush. It's going to work guaranteed with that signature move if you don't have it resisted. Get that crit off 100%. It's going to be a Rampage. Really works well into the kit, and obviously Rampage just amplifies the damage output massively. It is easily the most powerful damage output boost, and now it's going on to Michonne 2000, and yeah, it's crazy. So that is Michonne 2000, and other than the fact that she doesn't have an egg, I think she's awesome. It's still really off-putting to look at the art. Like, you just see, I think it's just like it's almost got like a it's hovering. Oh my god, I don't want to look. It's making me queasy. This is Michonne 2000. She is obviously extremely powerful, really heavy damage output without a doubt. All about the basic attacks, rush, signature move, her basic attacks as well. If she crits, she's gonna Guardian Shield. Everything just is amplified. Rampage on top. It's gonna be nuts, guys. It's gonna be nuts. You're gonna have to build that full strong attack team. Get Negan, Wayland, Rick. Oh man, Rick's strong as well. Damn. So yeah, strong attacks, 50% boost on top of this all, and if you can get a defense down character in there as well, it's gonna be actually crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Do give me your thoughts though on Michonne 2000. Have you read the comics? Is this what it's like? I'm just losing the plot at the moment. That is gonna be the end of my video, guys. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below on Michonne 2000. I want to thank you very much for tuning in, and as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.